Yeah. Ooh.
Let's not fall into that trap.
Yeah. I didn't know. I didn't know it. It tells you now if it's like recording. I didn't know.
It's in settings.
Is it?
Yeah,
I
you
know.
have to manually select it.
It's like a bit of a snitch, isn't it?
I like. I just. What am I trying to say? It does. See, when you take the audio, it doesn't appear in the actual audio. Right. So when I save this music file, we will not hear this meeting is being recorded. So every time I talk to it and have this conversation on the podcast, nobody knows what I'm talking about. So you know what I had to do?
No.
You know what I had to do?
Well,
I had to. How can I explain this? I had to start a Zoom meeting on my own, get my phone out, record this meeting is being recorded, and then take that audio and set it on top of a couple of podcasts so people knew what we were talking about.
No way.
I know,
do you know what as well, right? I declare the next one we do is face to face.
The next podcast we do?
The next episode. If we were to do another episode together, it's got to be face to face.
Only if this podcast is any good, though.
Yeah, we'll see. We'll see.
How are you? I saw you were deadlifting this morning.
Oh, mate. Yeah, yesterday on my hands today, they're absolutely wrecked.
Nice week, Callus. What's your strategy with Calluses? Some people pick them off. Some people leave them, let them scab over, and then kind of naturally fall off. What's your strategy?
It depends how bad they are. I mean, I'll just leave them most of the time, and I'm someone who fidgets a lot, so I pick them sometimes. It doesn't really bother me, but I'm noticing the heavier I'm lifting now, they're becoming more and more prevalent.
Yeah.
So they're getting a little bit deeper, and it's like I don't want to hand sanitize no more. Just hurts. Hurts.
You know what I hate about hand sanitizing when you walk into a shop? I hate it when you get the sticky hand sanitizer. I don't mind, or the wet one. I just want a quick squirt. That's all I want. I don't want wet and sticky.
Be careful you say it too.
I might clip that soundbite.
Oh yes, that'll be a good intro. That quick squirt. You know what I mean? It's someone really. It's like you get on your hands like, oh, what is this? Yeah. Is this actually hand sanitizer? You never know.
Funny story, true story. Phil B, shout out to Phil B. He's a mate of mine, and this was back when kids were still in school, and he got into a car which he shares with his wife, and he drove to the shop, and he was about to go into the shop, and he saw hand sanitizer sitting, in the car, and he just grabbed it, put it on his hands, got out of the car, walked into the shop. It was actually B&M, I know that from memory, and he's walking around the shop, kind of doing that with his hands and wondering why they're all sticky, like really, really sticky. And he got back to the car and he realized it was PVA glue.
Oh,
which was for one of their children's because they were still in school at the time.
So what a hero!
PVA glue all over his hands.
You know what? I used to do that in primary school, and honestly, it's quite satisfying.
Did you eat it?
Like, have you ever done it before?
Not in recent memory, and it's certainly. I don't feel I've missed out for not doing it.
You have. I'm sorry. It gets all of your hands, and you go all dry, and you can just peel it off. It's really satisfying, but it shouldn't be. Do you know what I mean? Like one of them weird things people do. Really satisfying.
I want to show you these. I'm drinking these right now. Product placement right here. They are My Protein BCAA drink. What do you think of that? Is that healthy? Is that good for me?
Has it got caffeine in it?
Yes, it has 180 grams of caffeine.
Could be better. Could be a Reign, which has 200 milligrams. Yeah, it's all right. What's the ratio? 2:1:1.
To be fair, I said grams. It has 180 grams. You said milligrams.
Milligrams.
Yeah. So if I don't
imagine.
Yeah, it's got BCAAs. I think it's. Oh, I don't know. You probably can't see that just because of the light we're on.
Yeah. Looks. Oh, it's got some vitamin D in there. Start of the game a little bit. Yeah. I think sometimes people think BCAAs is some magic potion, and they're going to make so much gains from it. But
you know how I describe it? My clients, when people ask about it, it's like if you imagine protein is your bricks. If if you eat a lot of protein, it doesn't guarantee anything because you're just setting bricks on top of bricks. And BCAAs is like part of the cement that holds bricks together. So you need to have
analogy.
BCAAs in your system, but that doesn't mean you get BCAAs from BCAA drinks alone. Like you get it from your natural sources of protein. Most people would get enough.
Yeah, I think most of the time I only shout and rave about BCAAs to vegans, vegetarians. Because Kaylee's vegetarian and she misses out on a lot of B vitamins, on a lot of leucine, which is needed for obviously synthesis of tissue and stimulation and all that. So I actually said to her, you need to buy some BCAAs for that reason.
Yeah.
And she was like, I thought you said BCAAs were pointless and crap. And I said, they are most of the time, but when you're vegetarian or vegan, you need to.
They're massively overrated. I take one of the problems, don't know if you'll agree with me here, is with BCAA drinks, is most of them come with caffeine.
Yeah.
They're the popular ones at least. I mean, so I would take BCAA powder with creatine in the morning, so there's no caffeine in that. I train fasted in the morning. I tend to like train maybe 6 a.m. and I don't eat properly. I have a protein shake after a train, but I don't eat properly till about 10:30, 11. So that's my reasoning for taking BCAAs, and I'm only drinking this now at 2:00 in the day because my protein sent me it in the last order, and I quite like them.
Fair enough. Joe, I think I only drink BCAAs now if it has, or even if it's not even that. It's like it just comes with the caffeine. You know what I mean? I drink Rain sometimes, and that has a few BCAAs in it, but I'm not like obsessing over how much is in it. I'm like, I just want the caffeine.
So that's why they put caffeine in the BCAA drinks, because it's just another way to get people hooked.
Yeah.
All right. Well, welcome to the podcast, Chris Ward. You've been on 3, 4, 5 times before. Chris is a PT, nutritionist, certified by MNU, Martin McDonald's Academy. For the podcast listeners, he just presented himself like a swan. It was beautiful. Chris has been on the podcast a few times. Chris and I go way back. Originally met Les Mills Land, did some work together, PT building, throw each other a couple of ideas. One thing Chris and I have actually started doing in 2021 is we just phone each other once a fortnight or so and just chat shop, just chat business, chat PT, what's he doing, what I'm doing. A bit of a, would we call it a mastermind? It's a mastermind when there's plenty of people with us, but just us two together. Is it like eggheads?
Bit of, I'd say eggheads.
Neckheads. Yeah. But yeah, what's going on? Describe yourself.
Cool. So, from my accent, probably know from Liverpool. Nutritionist and PT from Liverpool. I actually prefer just be called a coach, to be honest. But yeah, from Liverpool, and my sort of mission statement, if you will, is just to make people aware of the nutrition, educate through evidence-based nutrition, making them happier, stronger, more mentally resilient, and just to expose a lot of the bullshit out there and make them aware of it.
I had Tim Meadows on the podcast recently. I know you know Tim Meadows, and I just wanted to know, are you a fan of his work, and is there anything you would want to disagree with from Tim's last podcast?
No, I actually listened to you guys chatting. And
good answer, because Tim's a big, strong bastard.
he is. I remember he was in my he was my AIM 2 instructor. And I was just like, it was sort of like a fanboy moment, because obviously I've heard of him as a person in Les Mills Land. He's presenting all that, and at the time I was like, oh fuck, this dude's going to be there. He's a big ass strong man. He does. I think when he was doing grit at the time, he was like 100 odd kg.
Yeah.
And from me, I'd like to be that, or at the time I would have. You're a big strong dude, can lift.
Yeah.
Insane weights, and then do grit at the same time.
Yeah. At the same time, he was training for strongman when he first started strongman. He did a half marathon with 3 5K training runs, and he did the half marathon in like 1 hour 56 at 100 10 odd kilos or whatever he was.
Wow, that's ridiculous.
Nutrition, it's because he's a nutritionist and he knows what to feed himself.
Yeah, do you know what? I wish I was more into it now in terms of nutrition, but when I done my marathon, it was like 2018, 2019. But yeah, I think Tim, he's very, very, very knowledgeable, but he makes me want to have a little daughter. That relationship he has with his daughter is, you know, when you look at that and you go, I'm happy for you, man. Do you know what I mean?
I did, when I saw those pictures pop up of him on his social media, I did just type underneath it, dude, what happened? I've put it in the chat box what we're going to chat about. We've got like 5 or 6 bullet points. We've got the first one. So I'll let you lead. Health at every size. What does that mean?
Yeah, so health at every size. This is a movement which has been mistaken over the last, I'd say, few months / year, and it's been creating a lot of nuance on social media, a lot of traction, and it's created a bit of a stare. And the reason why I wanted to talk about this today is because people have sort of twisted it into their own little, what's it called? It's like their own social justice. That makes sense. So health at every size is the original term, and the original definition is to be having a thought of you don't need to lose weight just to make you healthy.
Okay.
It's just because you're losing weight doesn't mean you're healthy. Do you know what I mean? So like, you don't have to lose weight. You can be healthy the way you are. But people have took that and they've sort of put their own little spin, their own little body confidence spin on it. And listen, I'm all for body confidence, but it's they're taking things to fit their own perspective and their bias. Do you know what I mean? So it's turned into, oh, you can be very, very obese and you can still be healthy. Do you know what I mean? And it's turned into that. And quite frankly, I think it's a movement which should just be paused a little bit. Do you know what I mean? And just look at what it actually means.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? But in a sense, obviously, people think you can be healthy at every size. And me being obviously nutritionist and I'm evidence-based, you look at the science that correlates to that and you think, okay, no. When you have a certain amount of adipose tissue, when you have a certain percentage body fat, when you have even a certain BMI, you are more prone and more likely to have a decline in health at some point.
Yeah.
Does that make sense?
It does, and it's reminding me of stuff that I'm getting really into, like points perspective, and it's people's perspective on health. It's a quick example, right? My perspective of my own health, Ricky Long's health, if I can comfortably run 10K in 56, 57 minutes, right? If I can't do that, I am not fit and healthy as I want to be.
Yeah.
Or somebody who's overweight, they could just be, right, extreme analogy to prove a point, as long as I can walk up the stairs and I'm not overly out of breath, that is me healthy. And what you said is very, very correct in that whilst you might be okay with your health at that point, when you're 50, 60, 70, and natural diseases start to, the only thing we all have in common, we're all going to die one day. When the body starts to shut down, it's when you're obese, those diseases can be accelerated.
Yeah, the morbidities can be increased, and it's not a matter of opinion. It's not a matter of you're just fat shaming. It's a matter of no, the evidence correlates towards that. You have a higher percentage of chance of contracting diabetes. Female populations, which we'll go into in a bit, like PCOS, insulin resistance, gestational diabetes when you're pregnant. It all correlates to that, but people seem to think that you can be healthy at every size, and the original term was health at every size.
Yeah.
But I think people should set aside their own personal personal biases and personal beliefs and just look at what it actually means.
Yeah.
But yeah, I'm all for like body confidence stuff, but where do you draw the line of people posting? You know, I could post a photo now and think, fuck me, if I sit there with no top on, if I crunch down forwards and if I get loads of rolls like I normally do, and if I pinch it, they think that's body confidence and body positivity.
Yes.
Do you know what I mean? And I think
Chris is okay with showing that picture on social media.
Yeah, like, oh, he's fine with it, and do you know? And it's like people are doing that, so their fans or their followers react, and they go, "Fuck yeah, he's." But you don't have a clue. I could just think they're thinking, "Fuck me, this could get a lot of likes." This. Do you know what I mean? And it can create a false sense of security of I give a shit about people.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's it's weird.
Well, Tim and I spoke about this in the last podcast. But happy enough to go over the same ground because I think it's important about how obesity has officially just been announced as the biggest killer in the UK. Like, sorry, not the biggest killer. That might not be correct, but a bigger killer than smoking. Yeah. And I thought that was really, we knew that. We're the fitness population. We all know the risk on obesity. And it's not necessarily obesity itself. It's just what comes with obesity. If you get heart disease and you're obese, less likely to survive. If you're a smoker and you're obese, more likely to get cancer. If you get cancer and you're not a smoker and you're obese, if you get COVID and you're obese, there's actually something really, really interesting. This was October 2020, this stat came from. 73% of all COVID deaths in the UK, one of the common factors were they were obese on the BMI scale. Yeah, so that was the biggest common factor, and that was across age ranges, vulnerable populations, and all that. That was the one common factor.
Wow, bloody hell! And it's mad because in the past I've been wrong in the past of shooting down BMI as like a you shouldn't listen to it. It's fucking bullshit. It's this, it's that. And it's like, well, hang on a minute. It's BMI was created as a worldwide population measurement, and it's only obviously body composition, things like that have big play and stuff. Yes, that's why
BMI is height, weight, age. Yeah, height,
something
weight,
like
age.
that. Yeah. But it's more or less used in clinical settings. That's what I see it as personally. I see it as being used more in clinical settings through people who don't resistance train or strength train. But as a unit of measurement, it's for the entire population, the planet really. But yeah, it's like, okay, say if you don't train, because there's people out there who don't train, who, they need to refer to this BMI scale. You know, like who said it? Mark McDonald. He said if you have a BMI below 14, I can guarantee you're probably not healthy.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? So it can be taken into account, and that's one of the diagnostics, if you find a better word for it, for anorexia nervosa.
Oh, right.
If you have a BMI below 14, that's one of many indications.
Points, I've described it before as BMI is like BMI is designed for general population, and if you don't train, BMI is actually a good measurement of your body composition, how hard your heart's going to have to work to shift you around the ground that we walk on. And if you do train, if you're an average trainer going to the gym, up to 5 times a week, doing average things in the gym, it probably still has relevance. But when you go like towards 10 hours a week, you're doing specific training, like, weight, you're trying to pack on a bit of size, you're trying to pack on a bit of strength, or perhaps you're doing endurance sports, which is kind of the opposite. BMI just has that little bit less relevance, and that's when you got to start looking at, composition, VO2 capacity, but that's looking at other things for other fitness goals. So that's I just thought it was because it was interesting. Obesity is a bigger killer than smoking. By the way, there's a new drug out which suppresses appetite, and everybody who's been on it in Sweden has lost 20% body fat, body composition, whatever it is. Isn't that convenient? That was on the same week.
It is crazy the way they're bringing out, or they've discovered this now.
Aye.
But you've read into the, what's it called? What's it called? It's beginning with S.
Sex.
Is it semaglutide or something? I think I could be massively wrong there, but it sounds like that anyway. That was used at first for diabetes type 2. To control glucose.
Okay.
Was it powerful effects on glucose control? So it was used for primarily type 2 diabetics until they figured out that alongside with it comes the response to GLP-1, which is a hunger hormone.
Yeah.
It does affect it. And that's why obviously they do tend to lose weight. But obviously there's a case of when they come off it, when subjects stop taking the drug and, inevitably don't stick to the same habits, they're getting hungry again, they will regain weight. Not will, to have a higher chance to. Do you know what I mean?
Because that's the thing. It's losing weight, crash diets, whether it's a drug, or whether you're doing 800 calories a day, whether you're just eating lettuce soup. It's what you do once you've decided to finish that period. And if you revert to what you were doing, you're going to revert to what you have, and sometimes worse, and it can sometimes lead to like emotional and mental
decisions
as well.
Yeah,
and
absolutely.
I was thinking about this earlier when I was kind of just thinking about what we're going to chat about in the podcast. I don't know, we're going to talk about social media next. I'm curious to see 6 months' time, 12 months' time, once the gym's been open, 6 or 12 months, whenever that might be, what the fitness population is like. Because I just have this wee feeling the quality is going to be better, because I think education's better in social media. People have been doing structured workouts, at home. So when Jane Average goes to the gym, will their quality of training be better? Will they be slightly better at eating? Will they, will Jane, who always walks in a treadmill on a 5% incline, will she suddenly start doing weights supersetted with burpees because that's what she's seen Instagram trainer doing? And will Joe, who always does bicep curls and bench press, suddenly start doing like banded rows because they understand the benefits? So I'm curious to see that.
That's actually quite interesting to think about. I think there were a lot more variations, because people sort of had to get creative, didn't they? They had to learn how to use a band to its maximum capabilities. But I don't think people would use bands when they go back to the gyms because they're sick of the sight of them. But
well, true.
They'll probably understand
everybody
like
wants back to the treadmill, 5% incline.
Yeah.
The guys will have their hoods up because they're sweating more.
I miss treadmills. Like I just miss machines.
That was a question that came on my Instagram yesterday, actually, was if you could only have one, what would you have in the house? A treadmill or a bike?
I'd say a bike. Because I can run outside.
Yeah, that was exactly my thought process. I mean, it doesn't matter what the weather's doing. There's no such thing as bad weather. There's only bad clothing choices. You can have that. So you can always go out for or run. Technically, you can do the same for a bike, but it's a lot more dangerous being on the road on a bike with wind. A lot colder, trust me. I would say for me personally, I would have the spin bike or the watt bike now. But once Ironman is over, I would swap that for an assault bike.
I think assault bikes are the work of the devil. Like, I think they're pretty grim.
I'm in charge. Lindsay's just away out, so I'm in charge of Causeway. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to take this ear out so as I can hear him.
Is he still asleep?
still asleep. We're employing the 4 hours in the morning sleep, an hour's play, 4 hours in the afternoon sleep, then
Brilliant.
in the evening 1 to 2 hours, and so as he goes down for the night. Yeah, because unbeknown to me, up until the last few months when I started researching, what you need to do for dogs is their children, they need to sleep between 15 and 20 hours a day.
Yeah, I wouldn't have knew that.
Which is exactly what you would do with a newborn baby.
Mm.
Yeah,
I didn't know that.
A lot of people get that wrong. I probably would have got it wrong I would have got it wrong actually had I not done the research.
Wow. No, I didn't. I just thought they have these unlimited amounts of energy. Do you know what I mean? Because mine definitely does.
That's the Instagram highlight reel.
Yeah, probably.
What we've been doing, we've been timing. So when you put them in the crate, you've the time. So no matter how loud they are, you just ignore them until they set them down because it lets them switch off. And we've been timing how long it takes. So yesterday was 40 minutes. Constant barking, screaming, biting at the cage. Today, so that was yesterday morning. We've had him in and out of the crate loads of times. We put food in the crate. We keep the crate door open. He's allowed to go into the crate whenever he wants. And then when he tries to come out, we make sure he's not excited. So as he treats the crate like a calm space. Today, 3 minutes until he calmed down.
Wow.
Yeah.
Bloody
3
hell.
minutes.
That's not bad. That's a massive improvement.
Yes, and
bloody hell. I'm just like I would just wing the entire thing.
Yeah, you do. You have to go against your kind of like you're crying, you're whimpering. Just come out. Let's have a cuddle. Let's have a play because that's what you want.
That's what I do.
But you need to teach them the switch off. You know, it's like if you think about what a toddler or a baby does with sugar and toys, they're just running around the garden and the house all day. So what do? We'll have a scheduled nap. That's what parents do with their kids. There's a scheduled nap. I still have naps now.
So naps go for the soul. Go for the soul. I think naps are so underrated. And it was your little tip of having coffee before a nap.
Brilliant. I can't believe how many people don't know about this.
No, I didn't even put two and two together. Like that's genius.
Yeah, we espresso shot. You sometimes have a full coffee because it'll also help you get up because your bladder will be full.
Because you need to wait,
yeah.
I think
because it takes a couple of minutes to get into your system in 20, 30 minutes. So you wake up after 15, 20, 30 minutes, caffeine's in your system, you're ready to go.
I think that you should just show up on a TED Talk and just say that and leave. And that'll be the best TED Talk ever.
Ricky, you have 14 minutes and 30 seconds left. I know. I have to go for a coffee and a sleep.
Thank you. This has been my TED Talk.
Your TikTok's blowing up.
Oh, mate, that is a weird platform, That is so strange. Like at the same time, it's amazing, but it's also really strange. Like I went from, I think, not even 70 odd followers, and I've done one video of it was just showing my progress over the years. I'm just saying, listen, I'm no one special. You have to be able to change your life, change your relationships, your mood, everything like this. I said, you can do this. And it got like I'm not getting 1,000 views. I was like, oh, cool, 1,000 views. Like I made it. And I was like, cool. And we were chatting with me. And it was like 5,000, 9,000. I was like, I got 9,000 views. 10,000 views. And then it's now got like 200,000 views. It's absolutely insane.
And you've also got about 10,000 followers now. Like that's your actual followers who follow your page.
Yeah, it's mad. Like, but there's also a lot of people in there that just like sprout negativity and stuff. Like you can probably get them everywhere, but like I uploaded a video about diabetes. Big long video describing type 1 and type 2. And do you know where you only get 60 seconds to pretty much do a video? I split it into two and labeled it part 1. Obviously part 2 later. And the part 1 just mentioned type 1 diabetics, and I put in the caption part 2 coming soon with a smiley face. Someone comments, what about type 2 diabetes? And I was like, you didn't read the caption. Didn't read it. And but yeah, you get a lot of rude people.
The reason why people do that, and it's so obvious when you say this, is people are trolls on social media. Because if you post something about diabetes and I come on and I say you're wrong, you then comment back to me, or somebody else comments back to me, I comment, you comment, I comment, and your engagement goes up. So some people do, and again, some people don't know this. So I am the admin of, and this works on Instagram and Facebook, and not work on TikTok. I'm the admin for Ricky Long. I'm also the admin for Jump 4.2, both on Instagram. If I'm doing good things on Ricky Long, it boosts my algorithm for Jump 4.2. At the same time, if I'm doing bad things on Ricky Long for my algorithm, like I'm not engaging, I'm not posting good content, it affects my algorithm for Jump 4.2 negatively. Right?
All right.
Unless you're being racist, political, the algorithm basically just sees content, basically sees, engagement. So if I come on and say, you're wrong about diabetes, all they see, that the algorithm sees, is engagement.
Yeah.
That's not fact checked. Now I know they'll fact check COVID and stuff with that now, but generally, that's not what the algorithm sees.
Yeah, it's mad. It's crazy. Like
that's why people troll.
Yeah, that's a good point. Yeah, that's a good point.
So they'll have. I would have Ricky Long. So this is what they'll do. They'll have their actual account, which is Ricky Long, and then I'll create a fake account called Dave Sims. But Dave Sims, if you're listening, apologies. And I will just go onto your account and flout you with abuse. But nobody knows I'm Dave Sims. And that will, because everybody's engaging with me as Dave Sims, because I'm just trolling people, that boosts my algorithm. For Ricky Long.
Cheating bastards.
Yeah.
I didn't know that.
Yeah, it's mad. It's mad.
But probably most of the time you get people who are just genuinely absolute cunts.
100%.
Or just like they want your post to fit their narrative, and if it doesn't, you're wrong.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
One of my first videos on TikTok in lockdown 1, first ever video I put up, some wee bastard come on and said, "Who let this dad on the TikTok?"
What's happened to you?
I was like, oh my god, I'm too old for this platform.
Logs off. Deletes account.
I've stopped posting as much on social media now. I'm just in a place right now where I've no interest in making it grow. So what am I trying to say? And I don't want to keep up with the appearances and keep up with the Joneses and just post for the sake of posting. I'd rather spend that energy on clients, or away from social media, and never mind on my clients. I'd just generally be more productive with it, because I was posting 2, 3, 4 times a day for a long time. Never mind what I'm doing in my private Facebook groups. Whereas now, what I'm doing, I'm posting something new, and then I'm reusing old content every single day.
Yeah, and you know what? For those listening, because you probably get a lot of Feb pros listening to this. If you're not reposting your old content, you're a fool.
Yeah,
an absolute fool. Like I used to do it all the time, and you might get someone like, or you might think that someone will comment saying you posted this before, whereas if you gained 100 new followers since you posted that post, that's another 100 fresh faces that could see that piece of content that could potentially change the way of thinking, and you just never know who's going to see it. Or the algorithm.
If you're reposting content and somebody does say, "Chris, you've posted that before," this is the response. I know.
Yeah. Thank you for noticing. Thank you for keeping up with the content.
Yeah. As long as it's good content, with between 3 and 5%, 5%'s good. We'll see your latest Instagram post.
I know, and that's what we're fighting against.
Yeah. So if you have 1,000 followers, less than 50 people are going to see your latest Instagram post.
I know, it's quite annoying, really. Like, I have just over 4,000 followers, and I'd be lucky if even 1,000 see that.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? And that's what I'm fighting against. But yeah, if you're not posting your old content on social media, if you're stuck for what to post, go back, repost what you posted. It's still relevant.
I read bookmarks is the thing to look for on Instagram right now.
Yeah, that I've noticed that the more bookmarks I've got on my posts, the more people see it.
Yeah.
I've been keeping a close eye on that. It's been quite interesting. I always say to Kaylee, do us a favour, Kaylee, go back and post for me and just bookmark everything.
Yeah. It
does help the algorithm. Yeah.
But again, like I said, I'm not spending as much energy and love on it now, which we spoke about this before, probably on a podcast, just about TikTok. I kind of started doing it, and it came to that point where it was like, right, I'm on TikTok. I'm either going all in, or I'm just going to dip in and out, and I'm not going to stress about it. And I've gone for the dip in and out and stress about it. And I love TikTok because I'll go onto it when I have some time, dedicated time. My TikTok For You page is Marvel videos. It's bloopers from my favorite TV shows. It's football. That's it. That's all I see. I don't see fitness professionals on it. I see nothing to do with nutrition. I see nothing to do with Les Mills.
I know what you mean. Sometimes it's nice,
stuff,
isn't it? Like, sometimes it's nice to clock out of that of the hat you always wear. Nice to take it off. You know what I mean? But I know what you mean. That's why I play PS4 really.
Call of Duty.
It's got nothing to do with fitness, nutrition. It's just me killing people.
Such a gamer. Yeah, playing games helps me switch off. We're going to touch on mental health here. Obviously, it's such a it's been spoken about so much. Yesterday, or is it tomorrow? Today is the anniversary of Caroline Fleck when she committed suicide this time last year.
Wow.
Yeah, for mental health reasons. So
mad.
It's one of the many reasons why people are talking about it. Because sorry to say this, but Caroline Fleck is it Fleck or Fleck? I'm getting confused. I'm thinking of John Fleck, the footballer.
Probably Fleck.
Everybody knows who I'm talking about.
Yeah, everyone knows.
She's not alone. She's not the first person. She's not the first celebrity. And it was such a shock to everyone. And one of the things I do for my mental health, just to look this back, is computer games, because it helps me switch off. It helps me. I use my laptop for my computer game rather than checking my work, checking emails, checking Facebook. So always being switched off. You have your dedicated time to play your computer game. Obviously it's a games console, but it's the same thing. But I think in the last few weeks, Marvel, I have completed Marvel. I've basically watched all the films in the last month to 2 months. Now, I haven't told many people about this because I wasn't doing it. Guys, I'm switching off and I'm going on a Marvel crusade.
Yeah.
I just watched them all, every single Marvel film.
Good for you, mate.
Disney Plus, even completed WandaVision, or I'm up to date on WandaVision and all that. And it's just me switching off.
I tried to watch that and it was like an anticlimax at first, but I believe it's gotten on a lot better.
Yeah. Which episode did you get to?
Mate, I watched a bit of the first one, and I know it's probably that's probably why me and Kelly watched it. And we did excited for it because we love Marvel, and we sat down. We was like, "What is this?
Yeah.
What have they done?"
Yeah. For anyone, because obviously Disney are releasing them an episode every week. I think it's every Friday in the UK. If you watched episode 1 the first week it was out, you would never watch it again. But I didn't start watching until episode 4, so I watched all 4 episodes in a winner. Amazing.
Yeah,
absolutely amazing.
I believe it gets better as it goes.
Do you want me to
I believe so.
Spoiler alert for anyone listening.
Mm.
You know, in Endgame, when everybody reappeared, that's another spoiler. You know how they all died from the snap, and in Endgame, Hulk snapped, which brought everybody back?
Yeah.
Yeah, so this is it. There's a lot of people think Iron Man's snap brought everybody back, but it didn't. Iron Man's snap killed all the bad guys.
Yeah.
Right? It was the Hulk snap which brings everybody back. Because if you remember, Hulk snaps and Hawkeye gets the phone call from his wife who disappeared in Thanos' snap.
That got me.
See?
That got me.
See? So WandaVision, how can I explain? I don't know the girl's name. A girl in live time in WandaVision comes out of WandaVision. She wakes up in a hospital and everybody's starting to reappear. Because that's when Hulk snapped.
Okay, I've got to watch this now. I've got to watch this now. I'm sold. I was like, I'm sold.
And do you remember, did you watch Thor?
Yeah.
Do you know this scientist with the glasses, not Jane Foster, her like assistant?
Yeah.
Her helper. She's in it. She's in WandaVision. She comes in about
really?
episode 2 or 3.
No way. Not the crazy one, but the wacky one.
Yeah, she's good. And she's better in WandaVision than she was in Thor because she's the main character now.
That's nuts.
But anyway, mental health. What do you do for your mental health?
Do you know what? For mine personally, because this means a lot to me. But not that I go into much depth on it here because it's not a constant sesh. But I sometimes, if I don't do the things that I do for my mental health, I can get really in a bad way. Just obviously through sitting at home and stuff. And anyway, I always get myself out for morning walks. That helps me a lot, like more than anyone thinks. Obviously training, yeah, just sweating. Anything to do with me being sweaty, that's cool. But also just taking time out just to chill and play PS4. I'm reading as well.
Yeah, you said that last time you're on. You're big into your reading now. What's your current book?
Current book at the moment is, what's it called? Bad Science.
Bad Science
by Ben Goldacre.
Okay.
And mate, you gotta try this. This will change the fucking game you read forever. Get the book paperback, listen to Audible at the same time.
Yes. I've done it with one book. I tried to do it with another book and just stopped. It wasn't the book's fault, it was my fault. Yeah,
it's unreal. But yeah, Bad Science about homeopathy being well, basically a lot of crap. What he said as anyway. But in that sense, he talks about placebo effects. He talks about remember Gillian McKeith, is it? The one that was famous for checking people's poo. Remember?
It's ringing a bell, but that
Gillian McKeith. I think she lied about having a PhD. Which is, it's like you put PhD in your profile, and all of a sudden you got a PhD. You know what I mean? But yeah, she's in it, and it just basically talks about like pseudoscience. It's more of a, I wouldn't say nerdy read, but it's more of like a science-based book, if you will. But I've just finished again The Subtle Art of Not Giving a Fuck. That is my favorite book ever.
Yeah,
absolute favorite. But yeah, been way through a lot of books at the moment. What about you? What are you reading?
I'm just doing the 10-page a day rule on Matthew McConaughey's book, which is very good.
Nice.
Green lights. I know you would like it. It's the synopsis is right for anyone who's interested and think, oh, Matthew McConaughey is just an author. Sorry, just an actor. Like, listen to Matthew McConaughey on the Joe Rogan show, and you'll just hear how he is so much more. And Green Lights is kind of, there's the famous video doing the rounds of Matthew McConaughey getting an Oscar, and he said, like, he was asked as a 15-year-old, who's your hero, who inspires you? And he paused and he said, the 25-year-old me. He's my hero. And then he gets to 25 and said, who's your hero? And he goes, well, not the 25-year-old me, because the 35-year-old me is going to do more. And it's about green lighting your life. How, because when you get the traffic lights, you always want the green light at traffic lights. You do not want to have to stop. So what can you do today that's going to green light tomorrow?
Wow.
Simple one, which you're going to relate to. What would stop you going to bed at night if your bed's not made? So what do you do first thing in the morning? You green light going to bed. You make your bed.
Yeah. What's the book called?
Green Lights.
Green Lights, yeah.
Yeah. Listen, I find it really, really good because I have listened to, he did 2 good podcasts, Joe Rogan, and I'm just going to say it, the podcast he did with Jake Humphries and the High Performance podcast was better than the one he did with Joe Rogan. And normally I wouldn't be like this, but simply because Jake Humphries interviews him, Joe Rogan chats to him. So there's a lot of segues there, whereas Jake Humphries question, answer.
It's straight to the point.
Yeah. And it was really, really good, yeah. So that's what I'm reading. And I'm listening to Tools of Titans. You'd like Tools of Titans as well. Tim Ferriss.
Tim Ferriss, man.
Yeah, so he's basically, it's 29 hours of an audiobook. It's a long time. But it's in like 10 and 15 minute sections. So there's a section from Arnold Schwarzenegger. That is the only person I can remember because there's so many names in it. There's Wim Hof. There's so many names. There's millionaires in it, etc., etc. There's so much, and it's like, I think it's split into 3 or 4 sections, like health, fitness, wealth, business, career, mindset, that sort of thing. Really, really good. You'll struggle to listen to the first like 4 or 5 chapters because they are all proclaiming that keto is the answer to everything.
Oh, fuck's sake.
But if you can get through that.
Oh, fuck's sake.
It's just their opinions on it, and they've just put them all in together.
Yeah, it's fucking hell. It's I seen Tim Ferriss doing it, highlighting why breakfast is so important and how it's the most important meal of the day, etc. And I'm like, come on, Tim, I really like your book. Just stay in your lane, please. Otherwise, I won't like you anymore.
I'm getting quite Tim Ferriss and Joe Rogan. I do like their podcasts because they just attract such good guests and do have good conversations. Like somebody who I'm like beginning to really fall in love with when he's not doing comedy is Kevin Hart. I like his comedy. He was talking straight and he's talking about his business and his work ethic and his values and his beliefs. I'm just like, mate, how much do I have to pay for you to come and live with me for a month? I need to be near you.
I'm sure when he listens to this that he'll get in touch with you. Yeah, but I agree. He's a really likable character, and I like him on a Joe Rogan podcast. You see him for him. Do you know what I mean? You see him as who he really is instead of
my boiler. It's obviously really windy outside because my boiler's starting to rattle. I can hear the pipes all rattling.
In a few moments, Ricky is going to blow up.
Yeah. What's the time? My boiler's saying 4:10, but what's the time? It's 10:04.
10 to, yeah.
Yeah, that's all right. Okay. I need to watch that. Need to fix that.
Ricky Long, boiler fixer.
What have I missed? Anything else you want to chat about? PCOS?
PCOS.
I know very little about PCOS, so hit me.
Cool. So PCOS affects 1 in 10 women. That's a stat in the UK. Not sure in other states or across the world and stuff. But it is a multiple faceted syndrome that affects women, from fertility to menstruation and all this. It's diagnosed by Rotterdam criteria, which can be found on anyone on Google. Type in Rotterdam criteria and see loads of little circles like you onto it. Hyperandrogenism, elevated levels of androgens in the body, can be characterized by, I always say this wrong, hirsutism, I think it is. Like male facial hair, male pattern baldness, acne, or oligomenorrhea or amenorrhea, discontinuation or broke up cycle. Yeah, I think I was going to post a question in your jump group because there's a lot of people in there, mostly females, and it'd be really good for them to at least know about it because of their audience as well. Do you know what I mean? But it's a thing that I've been massively interested in over the last few months. Obviously, learning with MNU, carrying on the research for it, looking into more studies to do with myoinositol and other supplements for it. Supplements that can really help. Like if you're someone listening to this now and you're having a very hard time, PCOS, you're struggling with symptoms. I was chatting to a client today who's getting tested for endometriosis as well, as well as having PCOS. Get your hands on fish oil supplement, preferably one that's 1,800 milligrams EPA and DHA combined. I'm not even going to say what that stands for because I can't even pronounce it.
I just tell everyone, take fish oils.
Yeah.
If you do 10 hours of training a week, classes, whatever it is, take double.
Yeah.
So just
fish oils.
It's probably the only supplement out there that I would blindly say you will benefit from, no matter who you are. Just take fish oils.
Yeah, absolutely. Like, you'd be dumb not to. And even vegetarians and vegans obviously can't have them, but there's stuff that you can take that obviously replicates it. But yeah, the studies behind that are insane. Like, if you're interested, I'll send you studies, but it's honestly even the strength of the studies as well.
Do it. Give us 2 seconds. 2 seconds. Lindsay's just called me here. Hello?
Go ahead.
Okay. Okay. All right. That's fine. All right. See you soon. Bye. Oh, she's leaving me.
Oh.
Just taking the dog. She's got what she wants.
Bags are packed. see you, Ricky.
No, mate, you were saying?
But yes, supplements with PCOS, like I think fish oils are massively forgotten anyway as a supplement. But with PCOS, it can really help reduce inflammation and also help with the regularity, as well as other supplements you can use as well. Vitamin D, myoinositol, 2 to 6 grams per day for 6 months. Massively helps like ovarian function and cycle regularity. But the most important thing is just spreading that message across. That's why I wanted to get on a podcast. That's why I want to speak about it, because even like relating to TikTok, for example, I post videos on there to do PCOS, and there's people on there that are saying, I've never seen anyone talk about this on here before.
Yeah.
Thank you.
And secondly, I know you told me that your website views went massive, as at the same time your TikTok views and followers were growing.
Yeah.
So that's the reason why, like, if you know, Ricky Long, listen to this. If you're a fitness professional, use TikTok, have fun with TikTok, put your website in the like your bio.
Yeah, do it.
That's why
Honestly,
it's just a signpost.
That's
all social media. It's just a signpost.
You'd be so surprised at how many people out there don't know about this stuff, and I'm quite guilty for this. I think everyone has a certain level of knowledge about nutrition, and even I have to remember sometimes that people out there don't even know what carb is. Do you know what I mean? And loads of traction on carbs are bad, okay? No carbs after 6 p.m, please. Otherwise, you will gain a massive amount of fat. Just little jokes. Sharon et al. But yeah, like people comment a lot on. Even I had a lady comment. She was still a client of mine, and I actually picked her up as a client through TikTok. So, and she has PCOS, and She said that she mentioned this to someone before, a coach,
Mhm.
and he just shrugged her off
Yeah.
and didn't give her no advice on it. He basically just, he was so negligible to it.
Mhm.
And I think, how dare a fitness professional do that? Like,
Yeah.
obviously, not everyone knows, not everyone knows about it. It's like diabetes, for example.
Mhm.
Like, if you're a fit pro and you don't know anything about diabetes, it's easy to just ignore it.
It's basically like if you don't know anything about a deadlift,
Yeah,
like you'd
exactly.
be. It's such a fundamental part of training. Diabetes, PCOS, menstrual cycle. You
Yeah.
need to know about these because people have these. These are pretty standard exercises, conditions.
And I think it's massively respected when it does get spoken about, because you don't see it
Yeah.
a lot. Like, I can't even believe we never even learned about this in
I
PT school.
I never learned about PCOS. I don't remember learning about the menstrual cycle. I'm pretty certain it wasn't included, but it could be wrong, and I just could have forgot it. It was
Neither
a
did
while
we.
ago. Yeah.
No, neither did we. Honestly, I until I think it was until last year. No, sorry, last year, the year before, that I only started to really take into account different phases: luteal
Mm.
phase, follicular phase, spike in testosterone,
Yeah.
dip in progesterone, all that. And it's like, oh my God,
Mm.
we're fine from
I
week to
know.
week. We're,
Yeah.
we're, we're living through one physiology. So we can lift well every week, really.
Yeah.
Whereas a female has got to battle with a lot, other chemical processes in the body.
That's it.
Oh, it's
For
nuts.
anyone that doesn't understand it, to put it really, really simple, if your max lift for any exercise, let's just say it's 50 kilograms, that is my max lift for exercise A. At
Hmm.
any point of the month, because I'm a man, I can be pretty confident I can stroll up to exercise A and do 50 kilograms.
Hmm.
And I could probably rep out at 10% of that, like 45 kilograms, would probably do reps at that. But a female whose exercise A is 50 kilograms, there's about 2 weeks of the month where that's going to cause more harm than good. She probably won't be able to do it for a week of that month. And the other
Hmm.
week, it's probably going to cause more harm, her putting that amount of effort into it, both physically and emotionally. Because I used to have a client, I won't name her name, and she always used, because I didn't know this at the time, I didn't appreciate the menstrual cycle. I didn't know it had such an effect. And when she had an off training day where she wasn't getting cleans or she wasn't hitting her scores, she always felt really, really bad about it. When in reality, that's totally okay. That's expected.
Hmm.
You should have been sympathetic, empathetic to that, and actually focus on endurance on those particular days because
Yeah.
that part of the menstrual cycle. I can't remember the reasons why the chemicals and the hormones. You're actually better designed for that particular period. So that's why the trainer and the female client need to have that conversation with the menstrual cycle.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's one of the first questions I ask my clients. How's your cycle? When is it?
It's funny
I
the
need
looks
to
you get
know.
though, isn't
Yeah.
it? Because obviously the majority of my clients are age range between, well, a high percentage of them are age between 25 and let's say 35. But it's funny for them having a 24-year-old in front of them speaking, a male speaking about the cycles and stuff.
Yeah.
It's like,
tell me about your period.
what?
Yeah. Nice to meet you. Tell me about your period.
It's like, hey, obviously it matters. Do you know what I mean? I had a client who wanted to gain strength and improve a physique, but also at the same time learn about the cycle and the effect it has on lifting. So we had like a bi-weekly train split. So on 2 weeks of the month, she hit a certain percentage of her lifts, and then on the rest of the month, she hit a low percentage of lifts. And made her strength.
Yeah,
Right though.
you can use it to your advantage.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Literally. But yeah, interestingly enough, for those who don't know, your resting metabolic rate as a female increases when you're on your cycle. I think it's 1.2 times your regular rest of the metabolic rate.
Yeah, on average. Weight. Is, so
Interesting.
quite a few variables in that, but generally 1.23 would be expected for most. Depends on age, weight, general stresses of life, general physical condition. When I say weight, body composition. On that.
Which I think is fascinating. Like it's amazing.
I always get uncomfortable talking about the hormones and all involved in that because I'm just so paranoid. I don't know enough about cortisol, endorphins, adrenaline, and all the other estrogen and all that to when they line up in the cycle. So I just to be open and honest here, that's why I just didn't go into that.
It's fine. Like I didn't used to be able. I was so ignorant to any hormone, to be honest, because it's a topic where if you highlight something, and then someone who's a cocky fucker, that's wrong. It's actually this, and this, and you're there thinking, I was just trying to help. Do you know what I mean?
I know.
It was, I think, the first post I ever done on the cycle. I mixed up. I got the phase the wrong way round. And but typically, just to put it in context, I was trying to highlight that females go through different physiologies across the month. That was the point of the whole post.
Yeah.
Someone commented, "This is incorrect." I was like, "You took that from
focus on the mess. No, focus on the message, not the mess.
Not the mess." Yeah. I'm like, come on, like, fucking hell. You know what I mean? Like, shit. But yeah, estrogen and progesterone, female sex hormones. Some females who, interestingly enough, go on the pill get sometimes a combined oral estrogen and progesterone. When they do that, that's why when you go on the pill, there can be weight gain because it increases a hormone called aldosterone, which then increases fluid retention.
Which is why
you gain weight. Nothing to do with gaining fat, nothing to do with like that. It's actually quite fascinating to learn about. Really.
Like, it's not unheard of. It's pretty standard, half a stone at one point in the month because you're retaining all this water. You're growing a house inside you for a baby. You're basically you're storing all this blood.
Pretty much.
This is why. I could generally. I think it's a really important subject. I'd love to talk about it more and in depth. But we're coming to the end of our time together, Chris.
Oh, it's been emotional.
I know. Causeway. I have to go and see the Causeway. Causeway's next.
Got to get him on the show one day, mate. That's it.
I'm going to send. I'm going to put your details in the show notes. Where can people find you?
You can find me on Instagram at Ward Fitness PT, or just type in chriswardpt.com. Find me there. Find all my crap.
And I'll put. You know what I'll do? I'll put that video which blew up on TikTok. I'll put that in the show notes as well, so people can go straight to that video.
Sweet.
Yeah. I'll write that down because I'll forget. Mate, I love that. What do you got on next today?
I am going to chill for a bit, have something to eat, and get ready to train.
Good. Again, you did deadlifts this morning. Or was that yesterday?
That was yesterday.
I just saw it in your Instagram story today.
Yeah.
Training twice in one day. You're overtraining. You'll overdo it.
Lots of gains.
Cool, mate. Thanks so much for coming on.
You're welcome, man. It's been great. Next one, though, face to face.
Definitely.